Call of Duty is back, this time with another Black Ops entry for the first time since 2020's Black Ops Cold War. Just like that 4-year-old COD title, Black Ops 6's campaign has been put together by Raven Software, but this time around you can actually feel that extra development time. 4 years in the making and featuring an actual genuine surprise for a Call of Duty campaign, this year's release shouldn't be missed, especially now it's launching on Xbox Game Pass. Having said that, you won't be feeling particularly surprised when Black Ops 6 first blasts its way onto your screen. After a short introduction, you're quickly thrown into the deserts of Kuwait to take out loads of bad guys with very little context. The first 10 to 15 minutes of Black Ops 6 are very Call of Duty, but let this one slowly work its magic and you're in for a spy thriller meets supernatural shooter by the time its 8 to 10 hour story concludes. And just like that, the game's second mission throws you into a big old stealth level with a final target to take down, a la Hitman or something. Okay, look, it's certainly not as sophisticated as IO Interactive's steely bold dude simulator, but Black Ops 6 is confident with its stealth levels, and there are a few of them sprinkled into the full adventure. You're trusted to actually take your time a little bit here, and you probably want to do just that because getting caught in these scenarios can be brutal.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like a little sewer rat. Let's talk. In private.
In fact, Raven's campaign this year does feel tougher than your average Call of Duty game, which is just something to keep in mind. It's not super difficult, and the game does enough hand-holding to get you by, but if you're a bit rusty with your shooty Call of Duty skills, you might notice yourself succumbing to quite a few digital deaths by Journey's End. This is particularly felt when the game gets a little bit supernatural, but more on that later. Before we talk the weird stuff, Black Ops 6 has another big old brown desert to throw at you in the form of a sprawling Iraq level. And this is definitely the weakest bit of this year's Call of Duty campaign. It's reminiscent of last year's open fire missions from Modern Warfare 3, but where those fitted okay into a looser Call of Duty story, this one doesn't here in Black Ops 6. This year's story is a lot tighter and more cinematic, and for us, the Iraq level, with its vast maps stuffed full of optional objectives, just didn't feel quite right. It also featured lots of weird geometry you can get stuck on, either in your vehicle or on foot, meaning it felt somewhat unfinished and sat in the middle of an otherwise super polished story mode. Speaking of things that are super polished, it goes without saying that the gunplay here is fantastic. Pairing typical Black Ops weaponry with Infinity Ward's newer branch of COD engine is a lovely marriage, and whatever weapon you're using, Black Ops 6 feels tight and snappy to play. We particularly enjoyed sniping here, where the game applies a little bit of slow-mo whenever you steady your scope to take out some bad dudes. You also get lots of cool gadgets and equipment to play with, all accessed by a big old weapon wheel. And yeah, you rarely feel shortchanged when it comes to combat options in Black Ops 6. In terms of the overall storyline, Black Ops 6 is engaging, and it's certainly kept us intrigued throughout. However, we can't say that some of the character interactions and little nods to past experiences didn't go over our heads a little bit. We've played every single COD campaign available on Xbox, and it all feels a little too hard to keep track of in 2024. From what we can remember, there are strong links to Black Ops Cold War in this one, so it might be worth playing 2020's Call of Duty as well for a bit more context. That isn't essential, of course, but you might get a stronger grasp on the Black Ops 6 story if you've more recently played the previous Black Ops title. We don't really want to spoil story elements much beyond that, but we have to mention one particular section of Black Ops 6. Roughly around the halfway mark or so, Raven gets all weird and supernatural with a hallucinogenic portion of the game, and we genuinely haven't been this surprised by a Call of Duty game since at least the Numbers Mason in the original Black Ops. Again, that's as far as we'd like to go, and we'd like to keep the surprise largely under wraps, but just know that if you like your COD campaigns to get weird, Black Ops 6 is for you.
It's fantastic to see you again, Case-1. How have you been feeling?
Tech-wise, this is a very solid affair, again built off Infinity Ward's newer Call of Duty engine. We had a 120Hz mode enabled because we use it in multiplayer, and whilst this certainly isn't rock solid here in the more demanding campaign mode, VRR was there to smooth over any dips. If you want a more solid campaign experience, it's worth making sure that you're running at 60 Hz instead. Aside from the weird geometry issues in that Iraq level, we only really encountered one other major bug too, where a character disappeared during a conversation at our interstitial house. It wasn't part of a major mission or anything, so it was more amusing than anything else. But yeah, it's just something that we thought we'd mention.
No. It is a work in progress.
Overall then, Black Ops 6 features a really good campaign mode that's certainly worth the download on Xbox Game Pass. The story has a lengthy runtime, roughly about 8 hours at least, and is crammed full of interesting, varied missions, including one huge surprise that left us with a cheeky grin as we played through it. This is a big step up from the other COD campaign currently available on Game Pass in Modern Warfare 3, and fans of big, bombastic AAA experiences should have a right old blast with the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign.
That's how you drive.
Well, that about does it for Ben Carey's review, awarding Black Ops 6's campaign a great score of 8 out of 10 from Pure Xbox. Have you been playing the campaign? Let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and all that's left to say is bye-bye for now. Cheerio!